Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I decided to do a really green emerald look on the eyes to like kick fall off and get everything started. I am seriously so excited. I have so many fun fall things planned and coming up. I also watched Hocus Pocus for the first time of the year last night. That really kicked off the mood. It's just one of the ideas that I had in mind for a fall look. It's so pretty. I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. Obviously, I would never wear this during like the day. It's a very like nighttime and fun appropriate look. I think it looks really good with the color of my eyes. Yeah, I just think it brings out like the color really well. But yeah, I don't know. But if you guys want to see how I got this really fun emerald green smoky eye type situation for the fall, then just keep on watching. Alright, so to get started, you obviously know what eyeshadow palette I am using. Once again, it is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, and I literally threw my palette on the floor. Look at the pure fear in my eyes. Like, I was so scared. But I am taking the shade Creamsicle on this Morphe M504 brush, and this is the brush that I love to start my makeup looks with, just because it is so large and fluffy that it just spreads the color on really nice and evenly. And the reason why I went in with Creamsicle, and now I'm actually mixing in a little bit of the shade Made for Each Other, and I'm mixing in those two because this is a really warm orangey color that'll just shine through underneath all the colors I'm going to lay on top, which will really help out this makeup look towards the end because we're going to add a lot of dark colors and a lot of green kind of cooler colors. So it really helps to have a very warm transition color to make it look like you don't have two black eyes and to bring some warmth and life to the look. And then I'm also really making sure to bring that color all the way to the inside, all the way to the outside, and to just blow it out throughout my whole eye, making sure that it's nice and even. And now I'm switching over to this smaller blending brush, which is the Morphe 441, and I'm mixing in those two colors, and I'm just focusing this now a little bit lower and more precisely on my actual crease. And the reason why I'm doing this color more low and more focused and precise is because now I'm really trying to build the shape of my eye that I want it to look like and really carving out my crease. So when I go in with the darker colors later, I have a shape to follow and a guide of where I want those darker colors to be, and they'll go on nice and smoothly. Alright, so now moving on to some darker colors and another brush. I'm going to take the Morphe M433 brush, and I'm mixing the shades Central Park and Mocha. And then I wanted to show you guys, look how dark it is right away, but then after I tap off the excess of my brush, look how much lighter it is. And that is really important. I think it's crucial to tap off the excess product on your brush before you go onto your eyelid, because if you go in with all that product right away, it's really going to overwhelm your eye and it might look patchy and too dark. But if you tap off the excess product and just slowly build up the pigment, it works so much better and it'll just save you a lot of time and blending. So like I said, I just tapped off the excess and then I started patting and wiggling this shade onto the outer part of my eye. And then I'm working it into my crease once there isn't that much color left on the brush, just kind of whatever is left over. And then I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the tutorial, but I think you guys can obviously tell that I put translucent powder underneath my eyes and in that sharp wing shape on the outside, like you guys have seen me do before, but this is pretty crucial and a really nice trick when you're doing a really dark eye. Alright, now I'm going to grab that brush that we used before to focus in the crease, and I'm just going to take a little bit more of that lighter shade Made for Each Other. I'm going to work that over these darker colors that we just laid down, and that'll really help make this look really seamless and make sure there's no harsh line between the darker colors and the lighter colors. And then I'm going to go back in with Central Perk and Mocha and darken it up one last time and then go back to blend it out. It's really important that you kind of keep going back and forth between these two until you get the right intensity and the right blendability that you want. It may be tedious, but all these steps are very important in the end look. Okay, so now moving on to more of the fun stuff. I'm taking this gorgeous deep green color called Enchanted, and I'm gonna layer this over where I just put Mocha and Central Perk on the outside corner. And I'm using this little itty bitty Morphe M506 brush just so I can really focus this green color on this outer corner. Now, as you can tell, I'm starting a little bit lower by my lower lash line and then kind of slowly working it up on that outer corner and up into my crease a little bit. But it is so crucial that you don't bring this color up too high because that is when it's going to start to look like you have black eyes or like bruised eyes. So I'm just working really slowly and really softly on building up that color on the outside corner, and once there is barely anything left on my brush, I will softly run it on the whole shape of my crease. And then you guessed it, one last time, we are going back with that initial brush with a little bit more of the shade Made for Each Other and blending that through the whole crease and on the whole outside corner to make sure it is very smooth and that, of course, there's no harsh lines. Once you are satisfied with the color and the shape of everything, you can now move on to the really fun, gorgeous part. I'm taking this shade called Diva on a Morphe R42 brush, spraying it with a little bit of setting spray just to make it a little bit more intense, and I'm going to start working this on the whole blank part of my eyelid. This color is so freaking pretty once it's like built up all the way, but I did have a little bit of a hard time with it. I found that what I'm doing right now when I kind of like press and swipe worked a lot better than little short motions, but once I finally built it up, this color is seriously so pretty. Oh, look at that. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye and making sure they're nice and even and fully covered from the very inner corner all the way until it meets that dark green shade on the outside of my eye. Now I am pretty much done with piling on a lot of dark and intense colors, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe away that translucent powder and reveal that nice sharp line that we got going on the outside. So after stepping back and looking at it, I decided I want the green to have a tiny bit more of dimension. So I'm taking a mixture of the shade Queen and in Light on the same flat shader brush, and I'm just swiping it a little bit on the inner corner and the inner third of my eye, just to give that green shimmery shade a tiny bit more of a dimension. And then lastly, on the very inner corner of my eye, I'm going to take a mixture of the shades Pool Party and in Light and just really focus this itty bitty brush on the inner tear duct of my eye, and I really wanted to add that blue shade just to add a fun pop of color on the inner corner, and I really liked how it turned out in the end. So to wrap up this makeup look, I'm going to work on my lower lash line really quick. I'm taking the shades Silk Cream and Made for Each Other on that same Morphe M506 brush after just wiping it off. And I'm just going to swipe these colors on my lower lash line kind of messily just to get some product down there. But then to add some solid definition, I'm going to take this flat shader brush from Morphe, which is the Morphe M432 brush. And I'm taking that dark shade called Enchanted, that green color, and I'm just pressing that on the lower lash line really close to it. And then lastly, I'm taking the shade in Light and just highlighting my brow bone, which I think is really important for a dark, intense look. And then I just went ahead and popped on some mascara and a lip color, and then this is the final eyeshadow look right here. I was so proud of it, and I wore it out that night, and everyone was telling me how good my makeup looked and how pretty my eyes looked, so that was awesome.
Yes! I'm going to the mall.
I didn't really know where this look was gonna go, but it ended up like this, and I really, really love it. I truly do. Oh, I just think it's so pretty. Proud of myself. I think this looks pretty bomb. If I can toot my own horn. Woo, woo. But if you liked today's video and you found it helpful to kind of break down an eyeshadow look step by step, then please give it a thumbs up. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can come back and keep watching future videos and hanging out with me. Alright, but that wraps up today's video. That is all that I have, but I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!